Okay, let's take a minute and talk about the broiler. Maybe you have to turn this light out. There you go. Your oven's got a broiler, it's up on top. Alright, you usually get your grill up as high as it'll go. This thing is basically a grill upside down. So if you were to take a burger and put it in there, it would just cook from the top, and then a couple minutes later you flip it over. Put a piece of bread in there, it's going to burn it up. I mean, that's what they do. These are great though. You put vegetables or whatever you want in there, and it'll just cook them up just like a barbecue grill would. And they'll cook them up pretty fast. So, but it's mean though. It will destroy your food fast unless you pay attention to what's going on. But once you learn it, it's not too bad. You'll be able to cook all kinds of things in there. Chicken, thin pieces of chicken. You're not going to broil a piece of chicken with a bone in it, that's for sure. But steaks, it makes a beautiful steak. It'll sear up the top, char it up real good, and you flip it over. It'll sear the other side up real good. Potatoes, it'll cook potatoes fairly well. Not a baked potato. Baked potato will burn up before it's cooked. Fish will cook in just a minute or two. Alright, now that I got that out of the way, turn that light back on. Okay, let's make a chicken hoagie tonight and some broiled potatoes. So we're going to use that broiler we just talked about. It makes it easier if you use not too thick of a slice, but if they're flat. Because the more edges that are on it, the longer it's going to take, obviously. So this is just looks like a chef's potato. These potatoes shouldn't take any longer than, I don't know, 7-8 minutes maximum. See if I can't do them without burning them all up. I know I'm going to get a couple burned ones, so don't laugh at me afterwards, huh? We're going to lay them flat on a pan. Laying them flat will give them a direct heat down from the top. I'm going to chop up those other ones that don't fit on here. Well, they're all going to fit. Okay. So the broiler works best if it's a dry item like a fish or something like that. You don't want a lot of sauce on it because that sauce will just burn up on you. Alright. So we'll get a little salt and pepper on these guys. You can put whatever seasonings you want, but if you put spices, they're going to burn up too. Okay, like if you put like a dried herb or something on there, it's just going to just burn right off. But the salt and pepper will be good. I'm going to eat them with ketchup anyway. Alright. He's going to go right in that broiler. Just a basic seasoning on there. I'm going to go right in the middle. Look for the angle. If your element is this way, you want to put it in long ways. You don't want to put it in sideways because then half it's not going to be up underneath. All right, I'm going to get the stove started just to get it warm. And let's talk about these things. I talk about these frozen veggies. These roasted peppers and onions with olive oil on them. These things are great. I buy the bag of these, it's like $6 or $7. Keep it in the freezer. I throw a handful of that in the morning. Just in a couple minutes, I got breakfast ready. Whenever I'm making lunch or something like that, or a piece of chicken or something, it's so quick. There's no chopping veggies, none of that stuff going bad. All right, let's take this piece of chicken here. We're gonna cut it long ways here. So it cooks fairly quick. All right, it's going to go in a hoagie roll. Now in the meat, you got grain that runs this way. If you look at your chicken. So you don't want to cut with that grain because you're going to have long strips of grain. You want to kind of turn it sideways and go against it or go at an angle. All right. The same thing with this top piece. You can see the lines in the meat. You don't want to go with that line. Just diagonal across it. Alright, this is one breast. It's going to be more than enough for the chicken sandwich. I'm going to get that on a hoagie roll. I'm going to pull this off out of the way. I love using a second cutting board so I don't get chicken blood all over my stuff if I don't have to. Alright, I'm going to be back in about 4 minutes or so, because them potatoes aren't going to take 6 or 7 minutes max. That's like 1,000 degrees. I don't know the exact number. I should hit it with my my thermometer and give you an idea of how hot it is in there. Right now it's at 475, so but that's direct heat coming down to the top, and it's just ripping into that meat, into them potatoes. So I'm going to give that about 4 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. Those potatoes smell like they're almost done. We're going to get this pan going. A little bit of oil in there. Not a whole lot. We've got our peppers and onions here for a second. And got our chicken. Let's go ahead and get some chicken on there and get it started. This is not going to take long. A little bit of salt. I'm going to use fajita seasoning today. Just going to get these started here. Get a little sear going. I'm talking, we are not going to take long at all. These cooked peppers and onions, these are still a little frozen. That's okay. I'm on high heat right now. We'll turn that down to about a medium. Chicken's got to cook to 165. But we don't have to spend 10 minutes waiting for the peppers and onions to caramelize, because these are roasted already. So basically, we're almost done. I'm going to throw a lid on that just for 1 minute here. Okay, get our plate ready. Let me grab these potatoes out of here. Alright, I wasn't kidding, was I? Look at that. These guys are done. They're cut about 1/4 inch thick, a little less than 1/4 inch thick. I mean, they're not stiff at all. Nice and tender. I could have turned them over and went to the other side with them. Not a big deal. We ain't doing that today. Let's get the top off of this guy. Look at that. Seasoned up. Woo, that's hot. Chicken's cooked. Let that reduce down just for a second, because I want all that flavor. What are we into this for? Maybe 8 minutes out of our whole day? Maybe 10, including that little short video about the broiler. I'm going to split this bun open a little bit. Should have microwaved it to get a little steam on there. Move over this way just a little. There we go. That's reducing down a little bit while we're removing everything too. There we go. You could just basically take and wipe this pan out and put this right on top of it. But just as to make things quicker, turn that heat off there. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to use cheddar today. Okay, I left that broiler on because that sucker will melt some cheese. That'll make an open-faced grilled cheese sandwich in about 2 minutes. All right, this guy is going to go in the broiler. Let's check your time. Let's see how long it takes. Okay, everything's hot and toasty. Let's get our potatoes over here on the plate. That was a big potato. Now these little fatter ones, it's a little firm, but it's cooked. This real fat one is firm, but it's cooked. You see how it's breaking right up? All right, that's been in there for what? About a minute? Minute and a half? Look at that. What do we got here? We've got chicken with sauteed, actually with roasted peppers and onions, and some broiled potatoes. Can't beat that, huh? I mean, that's a quick meal.